Well, good day, Tubes. How's she hanging? Pretty good here. So I got a little story for you. We were out yesterday with the big trailer on here. Hello, turkey. Poor turkey. We were on. My stepdad wanted to buy a tractor. We went to look at it. I don't need any more tractors. I got enough tractors for like everybody, so I don't know why he's needing more tractors. But anyways, he wanted a Massey Ferguson, kind of like the Mayor's there, but a 135 diesel. He wanted one of those. He's been wanting one of those for a long time. I don't know why. He's got his Jubilee tore apart right now, and he's putting in some rings and doing a bit of freshening up on the motor. Not a complete rebuild, but anyways, so getting away from my story. It was a tractor he was wanting. We went to look at it. We drove all the way down. It was like almost 2 hours one way. All good. Looked at the tractor, ended up having some problems that he didn't really want to get into. Like the fuel pump was leaking really good. A couple of seals that would have to be done. You know, you're tearing apart a fuel pump, and that it's probably gonna be $1,000. So he's like, no. Had some hydraulic leaks too. Didn't want to get into. But anyways, another story. So get all the way down there. Start coming back. We're almost home. We're actually not too far from our Princess Auto. That's about 40 minutes from me. And we're coming off, whipping up the highway, cars and traffic and everything everywhere. All fine, trailer's good, everything seems fine. And I come down the ramp to off the highway, and all of a sudden the trailer's doing like this, like all freaking over the place. I'm like, what the heck's going on there? And I heard something weird like a minute before, like something bang. I'm like, oh, that was weird. So we kept, never really paid attention. I'm looking at my mirrors, checking, I can see this and everything. And then all of a sudden I see like the trailer's doing like this. I'm like, whoa, something's not right there. And then the brakes sort of locked up, and I didn't have a whole pile of brake on, but these will lock up if your cable comes off, the breakaway thing there. Now, as long as your plug's still in, you'll have brakes, but as soon as your plug, if it happened to come out, your electrics, you lose your brakes then. So I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So we stopped, and we're like at the traffic light. So look at my traffic light there. Pretend this is like a big off ramp. We're stopped at the traffic light, and we're slowing down, and then the trailer's doing kind of, sorry for making you sick, but the trailer's doing this behind me. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So we stop, and I was like the first one at the light, and of course cars are coming in behind us off the highway too, and they're stopping, and I'm like, oh, something's not right. I see the trailer like swaying. I'm like, something's not right. So I put the four-ways on. I'm stopped in the lane, so we're turning left, and then the Princess Auto will be kind of down to way down our left. I get out and look, so let's pretend here. So this is all, this is road. I get back here and look, and I'm like, what the freaking crap? The lock that locks this adjustable ball on was gone. So what had happened was the trailer and this ball assembly fell at the bottom, and it was hanging on the chains. I'm like, what the freaking crap is going on here? And then by that time my stepdad comes out, he's like, well, what's the matter? I'm like, I don't know, I lost my lock. And the lock has the two pins that go through there to hold on to whatever adjustment you want. So I'm like, well, that's not freaking very good. I don't know if you've probably noticed the rebar jammed in there. That's not very good. So I'm like, okay, well, let me look in the back here, and I start tearing apart my strap box, thinking I had my spare hitch in there, because now I got nothing to hold my hitch. Like this thing here was like down on the ground almost. I'm like, whoa, that's not good. And it was basically being strung up on the chains. The breakaway had come off, so it had locked the brakes up, which is good. That's what it's supposed to do. So I'm like looking, I'm thinking, oh, what the heck am I gonna do now? Like, I'm looking for my hitch, looking, and there's cars behind me. There's a guy like right behind the freaking tailgate. And then I put the four-ways on, and I'm looking, and he's like, oh, and he backs out and out. And then, so, there's people coming off this highway doing like 70, 80 kilometers an hour coming to a stop here. And I got my four-ways on. I mean, what else can I do? I am screwed. So it actually hit something too here, and it bent up my little lock here a little bit. I don't know if I can take that out and straighten that. I got it enough that I could get it off, but she definitely bent that up, so it must have come and hit something up underneath here or hit the hitch itself or something. I don't really know. So anyways, rebar, where did that come from? Well, in the back here I've got some PVC piping, and this is actually meant for a little temporary greenhouse that we're going to put over this big pumpkin that we're growing in our back beside our house here. So I had this rebar down here to hammer into the ground to put, you know, one of those in there and then arc it around to the other side. That's our little greenhouse where we cover that up. So I'm like, oh man, what the heck size is this? So we start pushing it in. I'm like, you know what, that'll work. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to get that in there? Because yeah, it's a 1/2 inch hole in here, but these rebars are a 1/2 inch, but with the little ribbing on it, they're a little bigger. So here I am freaking beating on the thing with my lock, trying to get it lined up and get it in there and stuff, and it worked. We did get it in, and we actually got it in on the highway there, like on the off-ramp of the highway, and then we drove to the Princess Auto like that. I didn't have these pins. Princess Auto didn't actually have any pins. They have pins like these ones here, we'll say 1/2 inch, but they're way too small. They would just come like to the edge here. I'm like, well, I need it to come out and have a pin go through it, right? So so we drove all the way home with just that in, and yeah, it worked. It didn't come out, and you know, that rebar is fairly strong. So anyways, no luck at Princess Auto. I was disappointed. I got back and my wife said, oh, I need to go to TSC. I'm like, okay, maybe they got pins. So I went to TSC and got these pins, and I got one in here just to try it. It actually worked pretty good. So I kind of almost want to maybe potentially drill these two and put like a secondary clip in there just in case. But I mean, both of these would have to fail or come out for that to happen again. So what happened? I have no clue. I want to try to get this rebar out of here again if I can. So now I'm gonna have to get a punch or something to get that out. I don't think that's gonna potentially come out, but this is a funny story. We're at Princess Auto, so we're going back to Princess Auto, thinking that, you know, blah blah blah, they might have, but I wanted to take this piece in with us, so I had that thing drove in there. So what I did was, funny enough how it worked, I start walking back. So I did walk up the highway, up the side to look for the lock. Couldn't find it, didn't find it. I don't know, we were going pretty quick too, so it probably tumbled way off into the whatever. Never found the lock. I wanted to see what happened to it, if it failed or what happened or something let go on the lock, and it just kind of worked its way out because this trailer does a lot of the bouncing, so it would have kind of worked out this pin. Never found it, but anyway, so on the way back I found a couple Allen keys. I'm like, oh well, might as well take those with me. They're all rusted. Let's see, I got them in the back here. Couple Allen keys here. There's one there. I don't know right where the other one went. It might actually be in the back of the truck, but all rusted. So when I was at Princess Auto, I actually used that for my hammer and out tool. Put that in there and then beat that rebar out. So it actually worked pretty good. The other one's probably back here. There it is there. So I found 2 Allen keys on the side of the road. Couldn't find my lock though. But yeah, I got to beat this thing out of here maybe now, so give me one sec here. I can't hold that and do the work. Okay, got him out. Got one little war wound, but I'm okay. I'll survive. So yeah, these pins, TSC, they're not too bad. They're almost a two-handed pin. Hang on, there we go. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll kind of work. And oh my goodness, this up here maybe. So but anyways, I'm glad I didn't have a tractor on, we'll say, because we never did come home with it. It's a little bit rough now from banging it in. There we go. There, so there's 2 of them holding there now, so that's good. And I think I would like to kind of drill them, but I'd really like to see what happened to the lock. I couldn't find it though. I went and looked and no, there's shiny. It's a shiny lock, so you'd think you'd be able to see it, but there's so much garbage and pop cans and stuff that was shining, it was hard to kind of look and see while you're not trying to get hit by cars, right? So yeah, those should be good. I still would like, because you know, maybe potentially this I don't think would come off, because it would have to push off and, you know, do like that to come off and then work its way out. But I don't think those are gonna come off there, and they're fairly tight, so should be good. But that was a bit scary. I'm glad, like I say, I didn't have a tractor on too. That might have been a little bit more hairy scary, we'll say. But so you know what, when I got this hitch, I thought, yeah, this is a really cool thing. I only need 1 hitch and it's adjustable for the truck, you know, and blah blah blah. But I always thought, I don't like that freaking lock. You know what, I should never have trusted. I guess I should have had a couple of pins like that or something. But plus, you know, there's a problem too with that lock, and if you use it in the winter time here, or these things on your truck caps with the salt and crap that gets in them, if you haven't put stuff on them or in them, they do corrode and they are junk. Once you get the salt into them, they're junk, just toast. So that lock, I had used it in the winter. I had cleaned it all out and blew some stuff into it and softened all the salt up and then lubed it up again, and it was working fine. But it was on there, it was locked. So, but how this works is the thing went through, and then there's a little channel right here. So you'd lock it, and the thing would put like a whoosh down into this little channel right where my finger is kind of pointing down in here. And it worked, but really not safe. So yeah, but this guy here, I'm gonna have to try to take him down and see if I can straighten it out, because it's hurting a little bit. Let's see if I can get him off of here again. Yeah, she's a little bit twisted up there, but hopefully I should be able. There's no strain on that thing really, so hopefully I'll be able to just straighten that guy up in the vise or something and be all good. Anyways, just wanted to share that little adventure with you. Ooh, that was scary as hell, that was. But I'm glad I didn't have a tractor on there, because that tractor probably weighs just about as much as the AR. It's a fairly beefy tractor that we were looking at. And I don't know, like I say, he's rebuilding his Jubilee. He doesn't seem super happy with that. It was burning a bit of smoke, but you know, put some new rings in it and clean up the cylinders a bit, do a valve job, and she should be good. But anyways, so little story for you. It was fun. I'm glad I had that rebar. If I didn't, I don't know what I would have done, because I didn't have anything else to jam in there. 1/2-inch bolt or something that's got to be at least 7 inches long, so you can get a nut onto it. But I didn't have nothing like that. I thought I had my other hitch in there too, and you know what, I'm pretty sure, I guess I got both of them out, because you know, I got the 2-inch ball and the 2 5/16 on there for this trailer. So I figured, oh, I won't need them now, so I never put them back in. But it would have been nice to have a little backup, but it would have made this trailer sit really high up. So, but anyways, that's it for today, I guess. Just a little fun. Wow, we scared the crap out of me when I seen it going like swaying. I'm like, what the heck's going on back there? And then, well, there it was. So I don't exactly know where we lost that lock, but who knows. So, but this trailer is weird. If it, well, without weight on it, it'll just kind of sit there on its own. So, I mean, until it's losing and it's coming in and hitting you, you wouldn't really know it. Like, it doesn't onto the ground. I could unlatch this thing here, pull it off, and then it would just kind of sit there on its own without even the tongue wheel down there, the jack down. It's really strange. So, but anyways, there we go. And it does that because of the torsion axles. It doesn't have a, you know, the walking thing in the middle, whatever they call that. It's got torsion axles on this, so it kind of sort of sits there and just does this. It doesn't really, you know, flop too much. So, but yeah, anyways, good adventures. I'm glad it was not on the highway. That would have sucked, trying to get over and that thing going all over the place behind you. Oh man, what a mess. But you know, I'd really like to know what happened to that lock. It was fine all day. We were almost home again, and then something happened to it. I don't know if it somehow unlocked itself or picked itself and then just backed itself off, and then that thing fell out, and then I don't know. There's a camera back there, and it doesn't record, of course, though. It's just for backing up, and I really would have liked to see footage on that to see what actually happened. But fun stuff. No true tractors, though. After all that, no thanks. We're good. Anyways, catch you all later. Thanks again for watching. Make sure everything's locked up and good to go before you start pulling. Oh man. One good thing is, though, if you're stopped, you can put it in reverse and check everything. You have to be stopped, though. But anyways, catch you all later.